Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of My Town Garden. It's a bit of a grey and miserable day here in Kent at the moment. It's sort of been raining on and off. It's not the best of days to be out in the garden, but there are still some jobs to be done, so I will be venturing out later on to do a few bits and pieces. At the moment we are in the process of doing away with our front garden. Parking's a bit of a problem here. So I'm going to extend the driveway into where the front garden is, or get that done. So I'm moving at the moment. I've been moving some plants from the front garden out to the back garden, and I've also got a little sort of round paved area in the front garden, and I'm thinking I may move some of that into the back garden as well. But also what I'm going to be doing during the weekend and the coming days is looking at what seeds I'm going to be sowing this year. So we will have a look at that shortly and see what we've got in store for the rest of the season. Okay, so this is a bit crazy. I've got all these seeds, and really I've got quite a small area that I plant my stuff in, so there's no way whatsoever I'm going to use all of these seeds. So I think what I'm going to do first of all is divide them into their relevant categories, and then look at what I'm likely to sow this season and what I'm not. Okay, so this is where we are. This little tin here is all the stuff I'm not going to be using, so I'm just throwing that away. I haven't used any of it up to now, and as I said earlier, I've only got limited space to sow stuff. I've got 4 raised beds and one very small bed. Obviously I still grow stuff in buckets as well, but all of this is going. Moving over here, I grow the stuff that I enjoy. So we enjoy broad beans, so I've got some of those, which I've had good success with, so we're doing those again. I always have a pot or two of chilies in the greenhouse, so those seeds I've had for a little while actually, but they're still good. So some chilies, various radish. I'm not growing any runner beans this year, but I will be growing some French beans, so there's 2 varieties there. They're both dwarf, so I'll probably get another one to grow up the poles where I normally have the runner beans. Now I may grow another winter squash. I grew one before and really enjoyed it, so that's a possibility. I may also grow some kale. Again, mixed views on that at the moment. Chives, definitely. I haven't really had much luck with parsnips before, so I'm going to give them another try this year. I've got 2 packets there. Various packets of carrots, but I grow them in the beds and in buckets, so I shall have a few different goes, a few different ones on the go. Beetroot, same again really, a few different varieties. Lettuce, I'm only going to go for the leaf cut and come again type lettuce this year, and I may also grow some greyhound cabbage, which I've never done before. Always had good success with the spring onions, so I've got white and red varieties there. Leeks, I'm going to give leeks another go. I haven't had much luck with leeks, but I'm going to try that again this year. Spinach, courgette. The courgette was a bit of a disaster last year, but I'm going to be changing the location of it. I'm going to be putting it in a different place, so hopefully we should get some good results with the courgette this year. A few various herbs, and quite a few different varieties of tomato to choose from. I do only have room to plant about 4 tomato plants, so I shall think about which ones I'm going to sow. Obviously over here, various flower seeds. The majority of the flowers that I sow are sort of the country cottage garden type flowers. I like those. So various different ones there. And I've also haven't sown any marigolds for a few years, but I'm going to be sowing these particularly around the stuff that attracts the black fly and green fly, so that hopefully the smell of the marigolds will deter the flies. So we'll see how we progress with that. But that basically is where we are with what we're going to be sowing this year, and hopefully it'll all be quite successful. There we go, this year's collection of seeds. And this year's onions, Red Baron. I had some nice onions last year, some white ones, so I thought this year I'd give the red ones a try, and these look quite good. $1.99 for 50 sets. So later on I shall be opening those, laying those out, so that we're ready to plant when it warms up a little bit more outside. So Red Baron, red onions, and it says there white flesh with red rings, so that should be very nice. Well, this is what I've done with the centre ring of stones that I had in my little patio or paved area in the front garden. This particular area has always looked a bit scruffy, so I've laid the stones on the outside, marked around them and sunk them into the lawn just to make it look a bit better. And the centre 4 stones I've put underneath the bird bath down the bottom of the garden, again just really to tidy up that area. Now it was a bit windy outside, but it's not bad if you wrap up, as little Beau demonstrates here. She's actually having a little rest in her bed on the bench in the garden. And one other job I must do is repair my cold frame. I think a fox landed on this. We normally have a fox cross over the garden, and I think he jumped on that and punched it through. Okay, so not a bad day all in all. I've sorted out all my seeds, and I've managed to put down those stones from the front garden. It seemed a shame really to be throwing them away when they could look so nice out in the back garden. So that's all sorted. The greenhouse has got to be cleaned out and got ready for seed sowing, but that's a job for another day. But yeah, pretty good all in all, so I'm pleased with today's progress, and I'm off now to have a nice cup of tea, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers then, bye.